lot of folks have said that, or some people have said that this is the year of the woman. I have with me LaDawn B. Jones. And LaDawn is an author, lawyer, former governor, state representative, and a political and legal correspondent. LaDawn, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here for the first time.
I know, it's good to have you. I know we're supposed to have you back, but you've been busy running around. So thanks for taking the time. Do you believe that this is the year of the woman?
Yeah, I think the year of the woman started in 2018, but it is still revved up into 2019. I think it's going to continue into 2020.
Amazing. And what does it mean to be the year of the woman?
So it means a lot of things. First of all, it's about empowerment, right? So it's not about the year of the woman as opposed to men, but as in the year that women finally get to take back some of the things that we've held on too long in this country: misogyny, unequal pay, changing the rhetoric at work, and the comfortability of what we accept. You know, when the Me Too movement started, it for the first time triggered instances for me that I had just allowed to pass by because that was the American way. I was a girl. Boys are just going to be boys. That stopped now, and we're not going to allow it anymore in the year of the woman.
And what do you mean empowerment? Where are women getting this so-called power from?
You know, I think it's primarily just power in numbers. So the number of women who decide to step up and run for office. When you're just one woman who is trying to change or go anti-Trump, it's a little more difficult. But when you have a whole team of women that are willing to do it, I think it brings in that support. We saw in Houston, we had 19 judges, women judges who all won, and they ran together. In my own city, I was a part of a historical moment where we were the first city in American history where the entire criminal justice system was led by women. Amazing. That were African American women. So it's power in numbers.
What is this in Georgia?
This is in Georgia. This is south of Atlanta. Is a city, the 8th largest city in Georgia, that was just incorporated in 2017.
Speaking of empowerment, men are born with natural power given to them by God. How do they deal with this fake power of women given to them by Satan? Because I've noticed these women who are claiming the year of the women, they hate men, they hate boys, they hate males. How should men deal with that type of hateful, fake power coming from women?
Well, one, I have no clue what you're talking about. I have not seen or heard this negativity coming from women. You know, I think it is sad when men's their ego is challenged simply because a woman says, I don't want to be subordinate to you anymore, that we are equal. You know, I don't know why you think it is that men have power that women don't, because I've never seen a man birth a child. And until you go through that process, that's when you know what real power and magic that is given by God comes from.
But women birthing children is not power. That's a curse upon the woman from God, because the women obey Satan and disobey God. And he said, because of what you've done, you should be cursed at birth. So that's not power. That's why they have to take medication nowadays to have babies, because if they had real power, they wouldn't need medication to have a child.
It is very unfortunate, Jesse Lee, that you have not and will never have the opportunity to grow a life in your body. When you've had that, despite whatever pain may come from it, you realize that it's not a curse. And you know who said it was a curse? It wasn't from God. It was from some man who decided to interpret God's words and put it on paper. And if you still believe that after looking into the eyes of a beautiful child after they come out, then I think you're very misled.
How should men deal with these so-called women of power when women hate men and all the laws? You can see it in the laws. You can see it in the false accusation that the so-called Me Too movement is making, and other women. They're starting to elect women and politicians, especially on the Democratic side, that have living with men or married men who already have a child or children. They are electing so-called Muslim women and lesbians and all that. How should men deal with that type of evil, which is fake power? How should men deal with that?
Here's how you should deal with it, Jesse. You need to ask yourself, who hurt you? What woman broke you? Because if you can put all women in one basket because they run for office, because they are standing up for their rights, and because they are saying that they don't want to be sexually harassed, it's as if you don't believe sexual harassment exists. It's
I
as if
don't.
you don't believe no one has ever sexually harassed a woman.
No, it's a made up word. And that's what these women are doing. They are making up words in order to intimidate and get away with lying on men. It's either good or evil, right or wrong. No such thing as sexual harassment.
Do you have children?
I do.
And do you have female children?
I do.
And so you are fine.
Well, female grandchildren. I also have great grandson right now.
That's beautiful. And they weren't curses, were they? Now, how would you feel if your female children or grandchildren or great grandchildren come home and say, Papa, while I was at school, my teacher took his hand, put it up my skirt, and inserted it into my vagina? Would you still say that there's no such thing as sexual harassment or molestation?
I sure would, because I would have taught my kids how to deal with evil incidents outside. So if the female teacher did that to my daughter.
Well, I was talking about a male teacher.
Oh, female teachers are doing that too. I would tell my daughter would know how to deal with that female teacher right then and right now, right there. They wouldn't run and tell the world and try to feel like a victim, because she would know how to do it.
I'm sorry, I missed that. They're doing what to the female teachers?
When the female teacher, if a female teacher should put her hand up my granddaughter's dress, she would know how to deal with that.
But you just said that doesn't happen. You just said there's no such thing.
That's not sexual harassment. That's evil.
Okay. You know, Mr. Peterson, I was not familiar with your show, but I must tell you that it is absolutely ridiculous. It is an insult to victims of sexual assault and abuse and child abuse all around the world. It is okay for you to believe in your God. It is okay for you to love your Bible. But what is not okay is for you to be an outright denier of the things that hurt people for the rest of their lives. And I am willing to bet that if we dig a little bit further in your history, that the reason why you feel this way is because something happened to you.
You would lose your bet. You want to put up some money on that?
Well, unfortunately, somebody who seems to think that children are evil, I doubt would be honest about makes them believe.
Would you want to put up some money on that bet? Let's do 1,000.
No, let's do this. When you lose, I take over your show.
Okay. And when you lose, you apologize to the world. I do agree with you that there are women who are falsely accusing men, especially because they want the so-called power, that they are falsely accusing men around the world now because women are trying to take over. So they know they can get away with lying because they pass these laws where men can't even speak up. But I'm asking you, how should men deal with these type of evil women?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Why not?
Because it is a false narrative. I can't answer a question about why all women are evil, because all women aren't evil.
Not all, but most. But not, of course, not all of anything is one way, but most are. Are you a Christian?
I'm definitely a Christian.
How do you know you're a Christian?
Because I have a relationship with my God.
You do? Do you love men? Do you hate men, or you love them?
I am married to an awesome, excellent, caring, providing African-American, former military entrepreneur man. And I also have a beautiful son who I love very much. And I'm very much a daddy's girl. My father has gone on to heaven. I love men. I love men of all races and colors. And I think that it is God's divine creation to put us together on this earth to be companions.
Is he the head of you, your husband?
Is he the head of what?
Of you.
How do you be the head of a person? You know slavery is illegal, right?
Is your husband the head of his wife, which would be you?
Mr. Peterson, you know, I was willing to come on your show without doing research, but I was going to be late to my son child's honors day for your show. But what you're talking about,
I appreciate that.
Is so absolutely ridiculous that I'm going to go now.
Don't run. No, don't run. You're running. You're the woman of power. Don't run.
Goodbye.
Is your husband ahead of you? She ran. Big mistake. LaDawn Jones, an author, lawyer, former Georgia state representative, a political and legal correspondent, put a towel between her legs and ran. I thought she was a strong woman. And for that reason, LaDawn, this song is for you. Chicken song. Beta female. Amazing. See, folks, you have to deal. You have to deal with the children of the lie. Just be honest with them. Speak up. That's all. Don't get angry at them. They cannot help it. It's not them, but the spirit that made a home in them. And why is it that women are proud of being liars, but men can't be proud of telling the truth? Men and women, you can be proud of telling the truth. Speak up. It's a battle between good and evil. It has nothing to do with color, has nothing to do with male or female, has nothing to do with whatever. It's right or wrong. It's the God that you serve. There are those who serve Satan, and there are those who serve the real God, the God that's in us and the one that is above. But thank you, LaDawn, for coming on, even though she ran. She ran. Jennifer is a first-time caller out of Fullerton, Georgia. Jennifer, thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
Hey, I was just listening to the woman, and I live in her city that she created, and it's a miserable wreck, let me tell you. She is so angry, and her people are so angry. They have laid waste to this whole community. I moved here 20 years ago. It was beautiful. They took over, and there's nothing but potholes, litter, crime,
which city
angriness.
Is that Fulton City?
South Fulton City, yes. And I'm a witness to what happened here. And it's a miserable wreck.
Is it controlled by black women?
By blacks in general, and then the women that think they're in control.
I am not surprised. Everywhere black people go and they take over, it turns into a ghetto. It's the darndest thing. And then they don't want to admit it. And unless they admit it, it's never going to get better.
And they won't admit it. Now my property has no value. It's horrible.
Amazing. So is someone working on trying to vote these people out and put in the right people?
No, I think once they've taken over, they've taken over. I mean, in my lifetime, I don't see any difference.
The reason for that, Jennifer, we now, in our country, white people, men are afraid to speak up to black women, especially black women, but mostly liberal women, mostly women, period. But white people are afraid to speak up to black women, and the black men are afraid of them. So now these women are let loose to go nuts. It's only going to get worse in your town unless that change.
You're right, Jesse, and it is nuts. But I'm glad I was able to air that with you because I'm an absolute witness to how this place just fell apart.
Amazing. When you saw LaDawn Jones put her tail between her legs and ran, right?
Oh, yeah, sure they do if you confront them. We need more confrontation, I guess.
Yes. We got to start standing up and being honest with these people, but don't be angry. Discern, but don't hate. Jennifer, I really appreciate your call. Thank you. Call me again.
Thank you, Jesse. We love you.
I appreciate that now. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now. It's amazing. And I'm telling you, folks, don't be afraid of black women, white women, Mexican women, even that woman out of Hawaii, that little Asian woman. Is she Asian? She is like a congressman, the one that told men they ought to just sit down and shut up or something.
Just shut up and step up.
Her. Don't be afraid of these people. This is Satan inside of them.
Maisie Hirona or something.
It's some kind of Hirono. I know her no is wrong. Denise, a first-time call out of Pennsylvania. Denise, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. I was calling about that woman who was just on.
Oh,
she's so concerned about children and, the rights of women, but she's probably one of the first people that would stand up and applaud that horrible abortion bill.
I was going to ask her about that, LaDawn B. Jones, but she put her tail between her legs and ran. But
Yeah, she's probably one of the first ones who will be like, this is the most wonderful thing that happened to women. Oh, my God, I got to get up and stand up and applaud. Oh, my God.
you know, you make such a good point. When they passed that so-called abortion bill or law in New York, whereas a woman can kill a child inside the womb up until even the ninth month, the day of having the baby, she can decide that she doesn't want to, and kill that baby inside, and don't even need a doctor to help her. She can get some other person, midwife or whatever, to help her. Or if there's a botched abortion, the baby can die on the table if she come out alive. And then they lighted up the city. They lit up some buildings that, things are bad when you see that type of evil. And they're applauding this.
It's total evil. It's total evil. And everybody has really, I told my 25-year-old son this the other day, people don't start standing up for right, you're doomed.
You're absolutely right. What do you think, Denise, it would take for the people of good to finally start speaking up and standing up? What would it take?
I think this is about the limit. I think, I can't imagine anything worse than people standing up and applauding something like this. And they want to call Republican Nazis? This is something that would have been done in the death camps. Are you kidding me? And they can't even see it because you're absolutely right. It is good and evil, and it is a battle to be won now.
Yes.
And I told my son, he has got to start opening his mouth because he works at a really nice place. And he hears a lot of this kind of rhetoric going on, like, oh, this, oh, that. And I said, Eli, you're 25 years old. You're on your way up the ladder. You better make it the right ladder.
That's right. 100%. If he doesn't start now, he's going to lose. As long as he doesn't have that anger and just speak the truth, it'll be fine for him.
Yes. He's they made him so timid in the schools and everything. Don't say anything that's right. Don't say anything that'll make somebody upset. But now he's getting the message. He's got his brain. They get their brains when they're 25, the critical thinking.
Yeah.
And now his critical thinking brain is developing, and he's seeing the light. And I'm like, Eli, don't keep silent because you'll be judged on this too.
That's right. Well, I really appreciate you pointing the right way for him because these guys definitely need somebody to tell them the truth so they can overcome that fear.
Yes, totally. And I appreciate your show, and I no longer see it on Newsmax. I have to see it on YouTube, but I do every day anyway.
Wow, I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much, and call me again, all right?
Okay, God bless you.
And God bless you. Amazing.